Hey y'all, I'm Zac Baker. This is my buddy John Schneible on the cajon, and this is the 64 Sessions.
I guess this is goodbye. I've seen it all before. I never thought it'd happen till you walk right out the door. I guess this is goodbye. I'll never see your face again. It's funny how it all worked out from where we both began. I guess this is goodbye. Maybe we were just too young. Maybe we were just too young to think about it. Maybe we were just too blind to see. The empty picture frames just show. Maybe you and I both know this whole thing has finally reached its end. I guess this is goodbye. I've seen it all before. I never thought it'd happen till you walk right out the door. I guess this is goodbye. Never see your face again. It's funny how it all worked out from where we both began. I guess this is goodbye. It was so easy for you to leave it all behind. It was so hard for me to get you off my mind. And here I sat alone. I guess this is goodbye. I've seen it all before. I never thought it'd happen till you walk right out the door. I guess this is goodbye. I never see your face again. It's funny how it all worked out from where we both began. I guess this is goodbye. 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 This is goodbye.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back here in the old 64 Session studio garage, and I got my two good buddies. I got a returning guest, Mr. John Schneible. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
And Mr. Zachary Baker. What's up, man?
Not much, man.
Thanks
Not
for
much.
coming in. Appreciate
Thank you for
it.
having me. Thank you for having me.
So, Schneible, you're my second guy in a row to be a twofer. I had Jesse Sutherland last night, and he's the
great.
first repeat. It was bound to happen.
Well, I was about to say, I'm surprised it hasn't happened more, really.
I know.
Because how many people do you know that drum besides you?
You. Yeah. I know, man. There's not many in there. Everybody just can't. It's kind of a big swap meet around here, really.
Yeah, I like it.
I do too. I dig it.
It pushes me musically. I'm okay. I'll play country for tonight, and
Yeah.
you know, instead of ripping all night, I won't even bring my double bass drum pedal.
Yeah, yeah.
I leave it at home. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this.
Dude, it does keep it interesting. It definitely keeps you from playing the same thing every show.
Yeah, and I always wind up bringing it back to Smashly or something like that. If we write an original song, I'm like, I really liked being dynamic this one time. I'm gonna
Yeah.
see if I can do it this time.
Yeah. So who else do you play with? You play with Smashly, and who else?
I'm in a band with my friend Joseph Higgins. It's just the two of us. We're called Evil Eye. We're sort of a punk rock based rock and roll outfit. And then I'm in another band with this man. Sometimes we play every once in a while.
Yeah.
Called the Walker County Hitmen.
Whoop, whoop. Also, not featured is John Mewburn, and Josh Abel plays guitar in that band.
Yeah, he also is in that band.
Josh came by earlier. He just left, actually.
He did.
He said he didn't want to spoil the interview. He wants to watch it live. So, hey, Josh.
It's good seeing you, buddy.
So, speaking of Walker County Hitman, you guys play kind of around Savory a lot. You guys really don't have anything coming up, though, right? I know it's hard to say. I hate asking people first of the year because nobody knows what's on the schedule, you know. But.
Mewburn is down south a lot, and then, I'm probably the only one that's really slowed down playing. It seems like everybody's playing with everybody else. So it was kind of a concept that, we've all been doing cover stuff for so long since, seems to me that people, from back in like the 2000, 99, 2000, when I was writing all that stuff that I played, people really cared about hearing some original music locally.
Yeah.
Now everybody just wants to hear the cover stuff. And that's cool, but everybody's playing with everybody. And
why do you think that shift is? Because you're right, man. Being like an original band, there wasn't much cooler back in the day. And chicks digged it. They would learn the lyrics and sing along.
When I was playing at the Cooler back in the day, solo acoustic a bunch, and I wrote a bunch of songs back then because I was going through a weird time. And
gives you good material.
Yeah, and I got requests to play all my original songs way more than I did any cover songs.
Right.
And any cover songs I did were very obscure songs. I would do songs from like Dole Bramhall and like Chris LeBlanc. Nobody knows who that guy is, but he's great. He's from New Orleans, but half the people thought they were mine. And if they wanted to believe that,
that's why you did it.
I let them believe it anyway. I was like, oh, that's but I don't know, man. I think it had a lot to do with, as far as the musicians, had a lot to do with money. You can't go to the Nick and really.
Yeah.
No, and that's like where Evil Eye plays, the Nick, and places in Huntsville like Copper Top Dive and Dine. And that's my favorite places to be, but as far as playing punk rock music, how many people are you actually going to draw on the door? Sometimes it goes okay, but most of the time,
paycheck, really.
Yeah, most of the time it's hard to get a whole lot of money, but we have a nice little scene in Huntsville.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever played Egan's in Tuscaloosa?
Yeah, we have. We used to play every now and again. I love that tiny place.
Mm-hmm. That's a really cool.
It's perfect for a 2 or 3 man band because that's about all you got room for.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've seen them squeeze many more in there though.
We had the 3 of us set up in the square spot, and you just had to walk right through the band to get to the.
I know. Yeah, you have to walk through the band to get to the bathroom.
You don't get to be socially awkward in there because it's just like no room. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, definitely. So Zach, you used to play with a band back in the day called Coupe de Ville. People might remember.
Yeah, I was living out in California, and the guitar player called me, Chris Chambliss, and I was going through a kind of a breakup, really, and just wasn't working out. And he's like, hey, we've got this band, we got a lot of traction, but we need a singer. I was like, fly out here and ride back with me. So that's what we did. And I did that for a couple of years, and it had gotten sick and had to quit. And then
who sang in that band before you then?
nobody.
Oh, okay. They just wanted to put it.
Chris did.
What?
Chris did.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many gigs they had.
Yeah.
But anyway, and it was fun, man. We worked hard and played a lot of cool stuff that we wanted to play. And going back to the Tupperware Statues, that was not Tupperware Statues. That was a band I played in Texas. Sorry, but the Walker County Hitman, we were like, being in a cover band, we're gonna play songs that we enjoy playing. I mean, because I've never played in a cover band where I looked at a set list and I was like, I gotta do that one, But this band, we're like, every song's like, oh, I can't wait.
I have a lot of fun with it.
I can't wait.
It's a bunch of stuff that I'm almost new to. It's a lot of classic stuff that I've never really thought I'd ever be playing.
Right.
But it's really quite fun. Like we all get together on it, and we're not playing the exact same stuff everyone else.
Yeah.
But when you do that, it does cut down on the markets that you can play.
It sure does. It's
True that.
shame.
Like we definitely catered to that blue collar crowd.
Yeah.
You know.
I know. I remember growing up, man. There was nothing worse than a sellout that started playing cover music. In my opinion, you know. But then that money.
But Coupe de Ville did really well. I mean, that was back in '98, and we'd make $1,500 a night sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and I was in my early 20s, I think.
That was
Early mid-20s.
Oprah rich in your 20s.
That was bukus of money back then.
I like
money.
I like to try to sneak the originals in while we're doing our set. Like just
I think that's the way to
hit
do it,
them with
man.
some of them, and you know.
I think that's the route.
Then, sometimes you get people coming up. Well, what was that? You know,
Right.
what was that song? Who did that? And I'm like, well, funny you ask. It's my EP.
Yeah.
Then you hit them with it.
Don't tread on me. I have not faltered. The stones you throw, they come right back to you. Pass you high. It's reared its ugly head again. I can't take it anymore. Take me to a place nothing stays the same. And I won't be where my name is spread across an empty light. Taking a stand, 'cause no one knows me there. I'm taking with me all the promises that were made to me in vain. 'Cause I left behind yesterday. I wasted time looking for a reason. Contradictions get the best of me. I've blown away from all the vices killing me. I can't take it anymore. Take me to a place nothing stays the same. And I won't be where my name is spread across an empty light. Taking a stand, 'cause no one knows me there. Taking with me all the promises that were made to me in vain. 'Cause I left behind yesterday.
So you lived out in Austin, Texas for a while, right?
I moved to Austin. I had an opportunity to move out there and play in a band with Chris Simmons and Carl Hopper from Mars Electric back in 2002. And really, I mean, I just got thrown into that scene.
Was that
and
Semisonic?
Ultrasonic.
I'm sorry. Semisonic was the
And
other band.
we did some pretty decent sized stuff, and I mean, and I'll tell you this: out of all the bands I've ever played in, and we were in Nashville this past weekend, and AJ Vallejo was in town, and
Yeah, I saw that.
and we were all having a big time, and Chris Simmons was there, and I was like, "I'm sorry, man, but you know, I understand the success of your band, and all that kind of stuff, but the best band I ever played in was Ultrasonic." He's like, "Oh man, come on, what are you doing? You gonna throw me under the bus like that?" I was like, "I'm sorry, man. We were tight. We played a bunch of crappy shows, and but Simmons had kind of an agenda where we would be like, we'd play like 5 nights a week. It just nobody would be there. It's like, why don't we play in these places?" And then by the time we got to Birmingham and played city stages and then played the Nick that night, I mean, it was just ridiculously tight.
Really?
It was just so tight. And he was like, you know, you have Simmons talk saying, I told you, play his gig right here now. You get tight. You get tight.
Dude, that is a great Simmons.
And I mean, he was right. You know,
Yeah,
you, this thing about it is you know, I'm sure all y'all know. I mean, it's like, you can rehearse in a centralized location that's very secure for years and years and years and be as tight as you want, but if you don't get out there and get in the elements where you know Murphy's Law is there, then it doesn't matter. So we just played and did really well. We did some tours with Bowling for Soup and did some tours with Tesla. Believe it or not. But yeah, we did that. I moved there, did that for about 3 years. Chris moved to LA to play in a band. And then I called Alex Vallejo and I told him, I said, "Hey man, we got a van and a trailer and a bunch of gear for sale. So if you know anybody, let us know." He's like, "Well, what happened?" I told him. Mm-hmm. He's like, "You want to come play guitar for us?"
Sweet.
Like, which was kind of crazy because in Coupe de Ville we played a bunch of Vallejo stuff,
right?
You know,
yeah.
And I was like, okay. And hey, listen, there's guitar players in Austin, Texas that would at the time would line up for that gig. Mm-hmm. They just hired me because I was short and kind of looked Mexican and I wasn't fat.
You fit right in.
That was and I was dependable and I could play the parts. There's much better guitar players and harmony singers than I was, but I just kind of got lucky and I did that for another 3 years and I played another few bands, but I had a heck of a time out there, man. I really did.
Well, okay, and what else? You were booking for Leon, right? Was that the time you were out in Austin?
Yeah.
Is that what you were doing out there?
Yeah, I went to work for an agency shortly after we moved there because we just weren't making any money. We had a cover band on the side called the Tupperware Statues, Ultrasonic did, just to fund the trailer and the merch and all that kind of stuff. And I was the singer in that band, and nobody knew that our close friends knew that it's the same band.
Right.
We'd play like Sam's Boat and places like that, and we'd make $1,000 a night, and that made the truck payment with the band payment. So this guy came up and saw us one night at a place called The Pier, and he's like, "Yeah, I think you guys are great. I can put you on the road and do this and this." He ended up being a scam artist and later on down the road, but he owned an agency, and I said, "If you don't, you better start making us some money. Otherwise, I'm taking my ass back to Alabama because I can't afford to live out here anymore."
Right,
I just couldn't do it. And then he put me to work for him, and the flagship artist was Leon, and then
Leon Russell.
Leon Russell, yeah. He got tired of dealing with that guy, and he said, "Why don't you start your own agency?" So I did, and then I represented him for almost about 10 years.
Yeah.
Exclusively. And I managed him, booked him.
Did you do anybody else?
Yeah, I worked for Leroy Parnell, Commander Cody, Pat
right.
Travers, Bonnie Bishop, did some booking for Vallejo, Adam Hood.
Bishop, man.
Adam Hood. I did a little bit of anything that was some classic rock I did, but Leon wouldn't allow you to book anybody while you were booking him.
What do you mean? Like
because he felt like it would be taking work from him.
Oh,
But I was a one-man operation.
I gotcha.
And I don't mean to portray Leon in a bad way.
No,
he just wanted to work all the time, and he needed to work all the time.
Right,
and, we did 200 shows a year for 10 years. So
that's moving, man.
But it was he could be tough, but it was a blessing. I mean, he was a legend. I called my dad when I first started working for him, I said, Dad, you know, and I woke up to the Allman Brothers every morning when I was a kid, and Charlie Daniels and Marshall Tucker and that kind of thing. And I was like, Dad, who's Leon Russell? I know Leon Russell. He said, son, that dude was the coolest thing there was in the 70s, in the early 70s. He's the biggest artist on the planet. And I was like, first time he came to Austin, I saw him, I was like, oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that song.
Right.
Oh, that song, that's him. I was like, holy crap, you know?
Taking time just to see if my room will change with you, but I already know it will. Now the light in my room has been altered from your thoughts. I hope you take the time to realize just what you do for me. I've been holding on forever, and I know the time is right. You can go away tomorrow, but just stay with me tonight. Just a thought for yourself. Just try to take it as it comes. Don't let temptation blow your mind. But with time you will find girls like you are out of reach. 'Cause when it comes to you, I understand how much I know I'd lose. I've been holding on forever, and I know the time is right. You can go away tomorrow. I've been holding on forever, and I know the time is right. You can go away tomorrow, but just stay with me tonight. Just try to take it as it comes. And now that you know, I'll be holding on, holding on, holding on, holding on, holding on, holding on, holding on. I'm holding on to you. I've been holding on forever, and I know the time is right. You can go away tomorrow, but just stay with me tonight.
But yeah, I did that for about 10 years, and then he did that album with Elton. And
Yeah, you were booking him when he was on the road with Elton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
How
wanna-
cool was that?
it was
Tell
cool.
us the story you were telling about the glasses.
Well, the thing about it, the way it happened was I kind of shot myself in the foot. I got a phone call. And he said, "Hey, this is Johnny Barbas. I managed Elton John." And I was laying in bed, and I immediately sat straight up, and I was like, "Okay." He said, "Elton is down in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and he got a hold of some of Leon's music, which he was a big Leon Russell fan from years back." And he said, he wants to talk to Leon about doing an album together.
Whoa.
And I said, "Well, that's great, and I'm sure he's into it, but I can't give out Leon's number without calling him."
Yeah.
So I called him. Leon was never fazed by anybody that was bigger than life. He really didn't care.
Right.
And I called him, and he was an older gentleman. And I said, "Leon, funny thing, Johnny Barbas called me, and Elton wants your number. He wants to do an album together. Can I give him your number?" And he just kind of giggled. He said, "Yeah, I guess. But I'm about to have to use the bathroom, so tell him, give me about 25 minutes." And and then he called me. So anyway, they called, and he was crying, and Elton was crying, so they ended up going to L.A.
He was crying.
Elton said he was just crying uncontrollably when he listened to his archives of his albums.
Oh, wow.
And so in February 2010, I got called out to L.A. and Santa Monica, where they were doing the album in the Village Studios. And it was rock and roll royalty, for sure. I definitely felt like the dumbest person in the room. It was T-Bone Burnett and Elton and Leon and Shaka Khan and Brian Wilson, the dude with the bangs that's the publisher of Rolling Stone.
Jeez.
Stevie Nicks.
Wow.
I'll tell you a funny, quick story. I'm sure you're going to have to edit this like crazy, but Elton's assistant, his name's John, never mind. He had an assistant. He's from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He was a really nice guy. And he asked me, he said, "Hey, you want to take a tour of the studios?" I said, "Yeah." And so we walked around, went upstairs. And he said, "I'm going to walk out on the sidewalk and smoke a joint. You want to go with me?" I was like, "I can't smoke. I don't smoke weed, but I'll go out there with you." So we're standing there on the sidewalk in Santa Monica, and this Lexus hybrid keeps trying to parallel park right in front of us. We're just standing there. I was like, I could see it's a lady in the driver's side seat, and I was like, this woman can't parallel park to save her life. And then finally she gets parked, and the passenger side door opens up, and we're standing in front of the doors of the Village Studios, and the door opens up, and it's Stevie Nicks, and I just went,
"Oh my!" She was driving.
No, she was the passenger seat.
Yeah.
So it was tinted right there. We couldn't see her, but we could see through the windshield of the other lady driving.
Yeah.
I don't know who she was, but she got out, and literally she had this glow, right?
Yeah,
just like you think, she had a shawl. The wind was blowing. It was pretty outside, and she walked out, and she said, "Isn't it a beautiful day, boys?" And we were just like, "Yes, ma'am, it sure is." And I opened up the door for her, and that was it.
Wow.
Sweet.
That's awesome, man.
I said, "Man, I could get hit by a bus today. That'd be cool. I'll be all right."
Yeah. How cool is that?
But things happen, and
yeah, that's awesome.
I got dropped right after the album got dropped. After they promised I wasn't going to get dropped, but I did.
Oh, that's how you know you're getting dropped, is when they promise you you're not getting dropped.
Yeah. He said, Johnny's telling me, he's like, "You're about to start making life-changing money." I was making good money already. I was like, and then when the album dropped, I was like, "Yeah, I started making life-changing money. Zero. It changed my life big time. I went from making six figures to nothing."
What was the reasoning?
They just wanted to put her under a bigger umbrella, so they went to the agency group, and I got promised I would have a job there, and so Steve Martin, who was the president of the agency group, called me and offered me a job in L.A. or New York for $35,000 a year as an assistant.
Man, that's like the equivalent of like $5,000 a year here.
And I just said a couple of choice words and laughed at him and just hung the phone up, because they just wanted to say that, hey, I offered the kid a job.
I offered him a job, yeah.
And he wouldn't take it. So,
wow.
And so then I immediately went to work for Billy Joe Shaver, who was another psychopath.
Yeah, no doubt.
But he was fun.
How long did you work for him for?
About 2 years.
Okay, I didn't know that.
2 years, yeah. He
I
actually
bet
told
he
me
was
to
a
go.
handful.
He actually told me one time he was supposed to play the Exit In Nashville, and he showed up for sound check, and he didn't show back up on time. So the venue buyer called me, so I called him, and he literally told me, "God bless you, and go yourself," all in the same sentence. All in the same sentence. And I just said, and he hung up on me. I went, what do I don't know. Is he mad?
Yeah, what's that mean?
Is he mad? Is he okay? But
How did it end up?
he played the gig,
Yeah.
but he was just in bad health. But he's still
Oh, yeah.
kicking. He's still kicking.
Is he?
Shoot,
That's one of those I forget he's alive. You know what I mean?
I mean, he wrote some
seems
great
like
songs.
Yeah,
He
no
wrote some
doubt,
great
man.
songs.
No doubt. Most psychopaths do. A lot of them do, anyway.
Yeah, I think he married the same woman 4 times.
No kidding.
Yeah, her name was
Oh, my
Wanda. I
God.
think her name was Wanda. Been married 4 times.
Well, she must have been worth it.
She must be a good one.
Yeah. All right, so where can we catch you guys next if we want to catch you? What you got next, Schneib?
I think my next upcoming show is gonna be with, I think it's with Smashley, the 15th of February. I think we're gonna be at the Midnight Special.
Okay, cool.
And other than that, Evil Eye will be in Huntsville, the 23rd. And I forgot the other time, but I think it's also in February.
Okay. Well, you also, so that's Smashley, who was the first 64 session video, and you also play with, or you help with the open mic deals at Twisted Barley, right? With Andrew Brassfield sometimes?
Yeah, I go in there occasionally.
It's your cajon that's in there, right? For people who want to play it.
It lives in there, and
Right.
I encourage people to get on it.
Well, that's cool of you. So, yeah, so they can go check you out. It's every other Thursday, though, right? Something like
Yes,
that.
I believe so.
Yeah. What about you, Mrs. Zach? What you got next?
I am doing a solo thing at March 2nd at Oak Hill Bar and Grill in Homewood.
I like that place.
I like that place, too.
It's one of my favorite places, man. That and like Saul's Juke Joint over in Crestwood, Mountain Brook, wherever that is over there. And it's in a neighborhood.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But I quit. I don't play that often anymore because, you know, I had to for so long.
Yeah.
And now I kind of pick and choose where my
I
gigs.
don't blame you, man.
You know,
do the fun
I get
ones.
burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
Burnt out.
Hey, you never told us. You didn't tell us about stealing the glasses.
Oh. So, yeah, we're sitting in the studio the first day in L.A. and
This
I'm
is back at the Elton.
the
store.
Elton thing, and T-Bone said, "Hey, Elton's going to be here in 10 minutes." So I automatically, I'm like, "Oh, my God, really?"
Yeah.
And the control room's not very big, and I'm sitting on this little love seat couch. There's a little riser and a love seat couch and a coffee table. Well, here comes Elton walking in. He's got a black, like, Run DMC Adidas jumpsuit on.
Yeah.
And he's carrying a orange Coach purse. And he had on red, like, I'm sure they weren't Ray-Bans, but they look like Ray-Bans.
Yeah, yeah.
Sunglasses. So he introduced himself to me and
Did he really?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah, and he took his glasses off and then put his rose, you know, those rose, infamous rose colored glasses, and this is kind of OCD. How OCD is, he took those red glasses off, put them in a red case with gaff tape on the case, and was written in a Sharpie red. So he had a red case, red sunglasses, and he wrote red on the case. And I was just thinking, I was looking at him, I was like, I could probably get a good dime from those, those on eBay.
But then you get busted.
It really wasn't worth it.
No.
Had I known now what
Yeah.
I knew, had I knew then what I know, you know, I would have took them.
Yeah. I like the honesty.
Nah, I mean, he was a sweet guy. He really was.
That's cool, man. Because a lot of times you hear bad stories about, you know, big weirdo celebrities.
He's
you know,
super generous. He bought Leon a bus. I mean, he was
Oh, wow.
really, I mean, he was
cool.
very, very nice to me and everybody.
Right on.
He's the deal.
Well, thank you for sharing your stories with us.
Thank you, man.
Mr. Giles.
Thank
Appreciate you coming out, brother.
Thanks
Man,
for
thank
having
you
us,
so
cousin.
much.
Yep, thanks for coming back, man.
Yep.
Glad you got to do the interview part this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, missed out on that.
I
last
really
time.
wanted in on a second one. I was like, there's got to be some way I can weasel my way back onto the internet.
You might make a tertiary appearance, right? Maybe.
I don't know.
Stay tuned. I guess we'll find out. See you, folks.
Do some country.
You say you were wrong to ever leave me alone. You're sorry, you're lonesome and scared. You say you'd be happy if you could just come back home. Here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Call someone who listens and might give a damn. One of your sordid affairs. Well, don't you come around and none of your lies. Here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Well, I thought what we had never go bad. Your conscience left me unaware. The truth is you're gone, can't be undone. Here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Call someone who listens and might give a damn. One of your sordid affairs. Oh, don't you come around and none of your lies. Here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Well, I thought what we had never go bad. Your conscience left me unaware. Oh, the truth is you're gone, it can't be undone. Here's a quarter, call someone who cares. Here's a quarter, call someone who cares.